Welcome to lesson 10-2. Today we're going to be solving one-step inequalities using multiplication and division of a positive number. So just a reminder, solving a one-step inequality is very similar to solving a one-step equation. The main difference is, again, instead of an equal sign, we're using an inequality symbol. And again, the for that we're going to be using is greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. The first thing we're going to cover is solving a one-step inequality using multiplication. And in order to do that, we're going to multiply both sides by a positive number. Okay, so the key part here is we're using a positive number in this section. So we should be multiplying both sides by a positive. And when we do that, our inequality symbol does not change when we multiply by a positive number. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's very important to remember, especially when we move on to future sections. When we multiply by a positive number, our inequality does not change. It stays greater than, or it stays less than, or whatever it is to start out with. So if I have the inequality x over 3 is greater than 4, okay, right now x is being divided by 3. So in order to undo that, I need to multiply by 3. And if I multiply the left by 3, I have to multiply the right by 3 as well. And what's going to happen on the left side, this 3 is going to cancel out with the 3 on the bottom, leaving just x. My inequality stays the same. It was greater than, so it stays greater than. And then I do 4 times 3, which gets me 12. So my final answer is going to be x is greater than 12. For our next example, we have v divided by 4 is less than 6, and we're going to solve for v. Okay, so again, since v is being divided by 4, to undo that, I need to multiply by 4. And if I multiply the left side by 4, I need to multiply the right side by 4 as well. And again, on the left, the two 4's are going to cancel each other out, leaving just v. The inequality stays the same. It was less than, it stays less than. And then on the right side, 6 times 4 gives me 24. So my final answer is going to be v is less than 24. For our next example, we have b divided by 2 is greater than 8. So again, right now b is being divided by 2. So to undo that, I need to multiply by 2. And if I multiply the left side by 2, I have to multiply the right side by 2 as well. On the left side, the 2's will cancel out, leaving just b. My inequality was greater than, so it's going to stay greater than. And on the right side, 8 times 2 gives me 16. So my final answer will be b is greater than 16. Go ahead and pause the video and solve the inequality. C divided by 6 is less than 9. Solve for C, and then hit play and see how you did. Since c is being divided by 6, you need to multiply the left side by 6 to get rid of that. And if you multiply the left by 6, you have to multiply the right by 6 as well. On the left, the 6's cancel out, leaving just c. The less than inequality stays the same. And on the right, we do 9 times 6, which we would get 54. So our final answer would be c is less than 54. Next, we're going to solve one-step inequalities using division. In order to do that, we have to divide the same positive number to both sides of the inequality symbol. Okay, so we're going to stick with positive numbers here. The inequality symbol does not change when we divide by a positive number. Okay, so keep that in mind moving forward. Just like with multiplication by a positive number, dividing by a positive number does not change the inequality symbol. So our first example, we have 3x is greater than 18. Right now, x is being multiplied by 3. So in order to undo that multiplication, I need to divide by that 3. And if I divide one side by 3, I have to divide the other side by 3 as well. On the left, the 3's are going to cancel out, leaving just x. My inequality was greater than, so it's going to stay greater than. And on the right side, 18 divided by 3 gives me an answer of 6. So my final answer would be x is greater than 6. Our next example, we've got 4c is less than 12. Right now c is being multiplied by 4. So in order to undo that multiplication, we need to divide by 4 on the left side. And if I divide the left by 4, I have to divide the right by 4 as well. On the left side, the 4's are going to cancel out, leaving just c. My inequality was less than, it's going to stay less than. And on the right side, 12 divided by 4 gives me an answer of 3. So my final answer would be c is less than 3. Our next example, we've got 6b is greater than 24. Right now 6 is being multiplied by b. So in order to get rid of that 6, I need to divide by 6. And since I divide the left by 6, I have to divide the right by 6 as well. What happens on the left? The 6's cancel out, leaving just b. The inequality started as greater than, so it's going to stay greater than. And then 24 divided by 6 for the right side gives me an answer of 4. So my final answer is b is greater than 4. Go ahead and pause the video and solve the inequality 2d is less than 20 for d, then hit play and see how you did. So since d is being multiplied by 2, to get rid of it, I have to divide by 2. And if I divide the left by 2, I have to do the same thing on the right. On the left, when I divide by 2, the 2's cancel out, leaving just d. My inequality was less than, so it's going to stay less than. And on the right side, 20 divided by 2 is 10. So my final answer is going to be d is less than 10.